Alright, here we go. It's the Dino project. Find some center here. Get this thing mounted up between centers so I can get a tenon on it. Alright, so 3 drill bits later, we got it to the right size. We've got contact with the drive spur. That's why I want to get one of these for the other end. Wouldn't have to worry so much about that. It's pretty centered. We're going to round it out, put a tenon on this end so we can mount it back into the chuck. And then we're going to start to shape it. We'll be back here in a moment. We're going to start off with an Easy Wood Tools mid-range cutter, negative rake. Get this thing rounded up. Well, you're probably hearing it on the turning, but I had some bonding issues, I think. If you look right there, oh, it's right at the edge of the camera. Let me get it over there a little bit. The white didn't attach to the blue very well. I am hoping that the top layer bonded better than this bottom layer did. Because if it didn't, this thing's going to fly apart right there. Well, we will continue to see how it goes. That's what happens when you try and do it left-handed so everybody can see what you're doing. I'm going to move the camera again and let's try again. Sorry if I hide any of this, but left-handed doesn't work for me. Alright, so this is the roughly what we're looking for. We are going to be a little bit larger in diameter to keep that dinosaur in. But we want to try and keep, make some little grooves or roundovers there, round over there, and then bring this down. Unfortunately, the dinosaur's tail kind of comes into this spot right here, that one that sits down on the slope. So we've got to shorten this up a little bit. So it's going to have a little short neck on it, more like a wine bottle than a root beer bottle. And we're going to keep it this way a little bit so I can part it off on the bottom. And then we'll just figure out how to make the rest of it happen from there. So we are going to make a couple of lines on here.
So there's the bottom of the cove. We'll shorten this one. No, we're going to lengthen that one. Go right there. Let's say right there. Right there. So yeah, I'm going to try and get some nice curves going on in that, and we'll go from there. This is probably going to be about the right diameter there. We'll shrink it just a little bit so we have some bulges there. And we'll start going down there. All right, we'll be back in a little bit.
So I don't know if you guys can see that right there. I done had a bonding issue where the blue didn't bond to the white for some reason. I'm hoping it doesn't go very deep. I'm gonna keep going, try and get that blue off of there up in here, because by the time I get up here to the top of the neck, there won't be any blue there anyway. But hopefully I can get it off of there without wrecking this. So I might actually take the parting tool and separate it right here, just to try and preserve it, or wreck it, one of the two. All right, here we go. Well, we got to get the wife out here, take a look at this thing. We might do a design change slightly, because I'm kind of liking what it looks like right now. We got a lot of CA to fill in. A lot of little, maybe I might mix up some resin, but I don't think so. Probably just put CA in it. Get a little bit more shaping going on here, and then maybe define what's going on up here. But I think we're pretty close to what we might want to go with for the final shape. But like I said, the boss has got to approve it, so I will be back. Okay, so the wife approved the design change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up this. This bottom's not bad. I got to do a little bit of cleanup right through here, get this shaped out round and take this down, and there's a little lump right there, take this down a little bit, and then I'm going to put a little, this would be like a cork on the end of it. And we'll see how that shapes out. Alright, I think that's the shape we're looking for. Got a little cork, a little separation, a little opening on the bottle there, a little neck. It's pretty good through there. I think I got all that delamination out of there. Almost got all of the white snow that leaked out everywhere off. Almost. We'll leave some of that just for character. Got into the tree a little bit. Did not get into the dinosaur, which I'm really happy about. Unfortunately, I think I'm just going to sand this up here to try and get that smoothed out. There's a little bit of waves in there, but unfortunately the wood is causing some issues with that. So we're just going to sand it out and go from there. A little tip that kind of learned from Captain Eddie. That's not a negative rake carbide cutter, but when I was using it to do this work here, if you were to use that, it's really grabby if you were to use it flat. But I tilted it up at an angle like that and gave it a negative rake angle on it, and it actually worked really good. While I was using that, you could see the really fine shavings coming off of it. It wasn't chippy at all, wasn't catchy, none of that. So in a pinch, that'll work. Because of the way I've got my dust collection set up, I've got it set up so I can just sweep underneath the lathe. And it sucks it all right up. Makes for easy cleanup. And I just run around with a little hand broom and clean up the rest. Just so everybody doesn't scream about me sending resin shavings into my dust collection, That's the dust collector over there. That provides the suction, the vacuum. And then there's a hose that comes over here to my barrel cyclone. And all the big debris and small debris, everything really falls into that barrel until it fills up. And that way the resin doesn't wind up in my vacuum. So with the pouring, we have a couple little voids. There's that big one right there. And then there's a little one right here just at the bottom of the bottle. I'm going to fill those with CA and we'll go from there. So I'm going to go with medium tight bond and we'll use some actuator as we need it. I won't force you to watch that. I've done the CA glue part of this, filling the holes right there. So I'm going to start with 120 grit on the power drill to try and get some of this all squared away on the top, and then I'll go to hand sanding. We'll get the dust collection on and we'll get to it.
Alright, we're sanding back to 220, 240. Found that the inertia sander actually works pretty good on this. You do go through a couple of pads, but you know that's kind of the way it is. Unfortunately, the wet sanding was making that piece of burl absorb water, and as soon as I started doing it, I'm like, nah, that's probably not a good idea. So I stopped doing that. So this is actually working pretty good. We're not building too much heat, and the dust is getting off of it. So we'll continue this. This is 320.
Well, we're up to 800 grit. I'm just going to clean it up one last time with the denatured alcohol real quick. Get an idea of what it's going to look like. Clear up pretty nice. And then I'm going to go after it with the axe abrade. Well, I'm going to do the do a CA finish first just to get this wood sealed in, and then I'm going to go after it with the axe paste.
All right, we're going to use tight bond thin. We're going to turn the lathe on at a fairly low speed. Probably bring it right around, not that slow. That's going to be about 250, 300, something like that. And then we're going to make a quick pass over to get it on there. Because you don't want to get the paper towel stuck to it, or my fingers stuck to it. Nope, like that. Well, we're done stuck it to my fingers at least. We'll give that a chance to dry up, and then we'll be back to check out our progress.
All we got to do now is part it off and then finish the bottom. All buffed up. All we got to do now is build a base for it. Kind of sucks, most of the blue got turned away for the water, but when you look at it in the right way, it does look kind of neat because you get a little galaxy type effect right there underneath the dinosaur's tail. But it turned out quite nice. Nice and clear. Got our logo on the bottom of it, or on the end of it. And that piece of wood is a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. A little bit of snow that came down through everything, got on the bottom side. And the tree got a little bit trimmed right there, but overall came out quite nice. Hope you enjoyed.